Still no podcast.
Nope. And we're trying a bunch of new things.
It's not looking good.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. But is it like how many times?
I gotta be honest with you. If you're listening right now, it's not good. Our studio is flooding. There's literally just water creeping in. And we're sitting here trying to decide whether or not we need to crack into one of those giant Jim Baker tubs of food that we bought for
when the podcalypse comes.
Yeah. When Pod returns.
I don't think he's going to be very happy with us.
No, we're not. We're not getting called up. We're going to be left behind. Part of the tribulation force.
Yeah.
That does sound kind of cool, though. Tribulation force.
You know how Larry the Cable Guy made Delta Farce?
Yeah.
The film Delta. I think that they should.
Tribulation farce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can get Larry the Cable Guy for it.
Well, no, he's getting called up to glory, that's for sure. On a chariot of fire, just like Elijah.
Yeah. They broke the mold with that one.
Yeah, they certainly.
He's going to sit right by his father's side.
What, Larry the Cable Guy's father?
Yeah.
Up in heaven. Yeah.
It's probably also named Larry the Cable Guy, or possibly Larry the TV repairman.
Yeah. Do you think it's a family business?
I don't think cable can be, but television repair certainly could be until they all went out of business.
Yeah. Cable can't be, though.
Even like I like that there were VCR repair stores.
I mean, it was an important job.
Do you think that if you were a VCR repairman, you knew like this is just for like a bit?
I'm just doing this to be funny.
Do you think you thought like, yeah, people will be needing VCRs repaired for years? They cost like $500 in 1989 money.
Larry the Cable Guy spent 6 months at a community college. He's like, this is going to be so funny. I'm going to buy all these tools. Just drive around. Just, this is perfect. Perfect. I'm getting such good material here.
Yeah, he probably'd have to like unhook people's cable just so they'd call him so he could fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, everybody knows all of his material is about cable installation and maintenance of home electronics. And
that would be an interesting take, is if he just did like very inside baseball jokes about installing cable.
Yeah.
It's like, when you got a Cat 5 splitter, and that's it. They say it's supposed to be wrench tight.
And possibly something like his father-in-law extolling the virtues of satellite dish. Come on now.
Yeah. He has a whole very racist bit about how much he hates satellite dish people. But you know what he's talking about.
You know the kind of people I'm talking about.
You know.
Satellite dish owners.
When you see all those satellite dish owners move into your neighborhood, it's all over. And it's just confusing. You're like, I'm sure he's being racist, but it's unclear who he's talking about. People who own satellite dishes, they smell weird, They're just not like us cable people. They hit their children. You're like, I think if I try to figure it out, I'm the racist. That's a great bit.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of most of Larry the Cable Guy's inscrutable racist humor. When you were growing up, did a lot of people have satellite dishes? My aunt had one, like one of the big ones.
The big ones.
Like, turn it on its side, and if it could hold water, whole family could take a bath in it.
Yeah, my neighbors had one. When I was little, we lived in like a little King of the Hill type subdivision, where it's all the houses are right next to each other and they all have backyards. Yeah. And there was a neighbor who had one of those big, like 18-footers in his backyard. You could hear it turning around and shit. It was wild.
Yeah, I'm glad that we have what we have now and we aren't still doing that, but at the time I felt like I was missing out. Like it felt like you could unlock some sort of secret with those giant, like I could steal Canadian TV or something with one.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get to mess around with it, but we didn't have one.
Yeah. When I was older, my parents bought a house out in the country that had 2 giant ones that didn't work just in the backyard. And then a tornado ripped them away. They just flew away. It was like, goodbye, satellite dish.
How do you stop that? Like, it seems like that would happen all the time. Can you just, like, tie it to your house with a long chain?
I don't think you'd want to, right? If it didn't just break the chain, it would pull part of the house away, or it would like come whipping around like when someone's trying to fuck around with a bullwhip and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do that, but I would want to see what happened if you did do that.
When I was in college, I saw someone give a speech in a class about the crucifixion, the Passion of the Christ.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing a very like fire and brimstone type thing, like getting into all the like gory details of Christ's torture. And he had a whip, but it wasn't the right kind of whip. It was like an Indiana Jones whip. And he was like, they whipped him 1 time, 2 times. He's just standing in front of this auditorium doing this. This is just a kid in my class. And I was like, he's going to crack that whip 30 times. And I like those odds. I think he got to 4. He whipped himself right in the eye.
Well, good on him. I mean, if you're going to do right by that kind of speech, you do need to do a little self-flagellation.
Yeah, he definitely... Yeah, he caught one directly in the eye. The whole room fell silent, like it was daring me to laugh, and I was just shaking.
So, you kept him in? Kept the giggles in?
I did. It was one of those, when you see someone get hurt in a very public way, and they're not so hurt that they start to cry or something where you feel pity. It's just like the kind of your eyes get big and kind of like bloodthirsty just watching it.
Yes, I do know that feeling.
That's where I was at.
I would probably get through the initial crack in the eye, but if I had a friend who was also holding back the laughter, it'd be eye contact with them that would set it loose. If there's nobody I'm friends with, I can fake that I don't think something's funny.
Yeah. You see somebody fall down on the ice or something like that.
Yeah. Those are usually... I like the ones where people don't fall down, where they somehow catch themselves and then they look around so surprised, like, did you see that shit?
That one where the guy's shoveling snow and he just keeps slipping for like 5 minutes, but he never falls down. That is one of my favorite videos. His legs are just windmilling like one of those plastic Roadrunner decorations, but he never actually like falls on the ground. It's great.
It's a great feeling. You immediately have all of the endorphins and adrenaline at the same time.
I went ice skating for the first time in years this weekend, and I was like, it's probably like riding a bicycle. And I got out and immediately like went, whoa! And I was like, oh, maybe not. But then I didn't fall down the whole time.
Did you like were you doing some hot dog stuff?
I was hot dogging a little. Just because I live in Kentucky and no one here knows how to skate.
You're magic if you know how to skate.
It was like everyone around me was just falling down and hanging on to things, and I was like Snoopy in the Charlie Brown Christmas cartoon, just hands in my pockets, just kind of gliding between people. But I was like, if I fall down now, yeah. They don't take good care of the ice in Kentucky, though. You wouldn't want to, because it was like skating on gravel.
Ooh.
Real rough, chunky ice.
I got a lot more experience roller skating than ice skating, but I'm bad at both, and it always killed me because I'm really good at limbo. But they would always do
The
roller skate limbo, and I would always be like, fuck it, I'm going for it. And it's not like a normal limbo. You don't just like hit the bar and go, whoop, I'm out. It's like always like head smashing against the wooden floor.
Well, they let you just squat and go under too. They don't make you bend over backwards.
I played by the book.
You're a purist.
Yeah.
You're out there doing it for yourself. You don't care what other people do.
This is Stacy's birthday party, and I wouldn't be doing right by myself. I wouldn't be doing right by Stacy, her parents, who are so kind to rent out this skating rink for us all to come here. I'm doing it for all of them, all of my classmates who expect it of me. Enjoy this. I hope somebody's got a big-ass camcorder out recording me giving myself my first concussion.
That's exciting. I wish I could see if anyone has that camcorder footage of a young AJ winning the roller skate limbo competition or falling down and hurting himself. Either one.
I lost badly. As soon as I tried to tilt back at all, it was just smash. It wasn't even close to the bar yet. Just getting limber.
You're next in line. You just eat shit immediately. You don't even roll forward.
Yeah. And then a few years later, I decided I was going to be a skateboarder. And that didn't work out well either.
Oh. You know, I did that when I was in my late teens. I thought it would be funny to get into skateboarding too late in life, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I went to the store and I bought the cheapest skateboard I could find, which was... It was a Monsters, Inc. skateboard.
Do you have Mike and Sully, or just one or the other?
It had Mike and Sully, and then I went to the skate park, and I got up on the half pipe, and I just dropped it. I didn't even make it to the bottom of the half pipe. I just, like, broke my ribs and just laid there.
I is that the only time you've attempted a half pipe?
The only time. It was I was not medically able to get up and take another try.
I also have made one attempt at a half pipe, but I rolled almost immediately. And I hurt myself pretty badly. I had a lot of cuts and bruises, but nothing broke.
You rolled
forward in front of the board.
Oh, so you like fell and then rolled sideways.
I almost immediately just ate shit.
Oh yeah, no, I hit the side of the half pipe that I was standing on. Like I went like, what? You know, like you're
Did you do it with gusto? I kind of did it like I didn't do it hard enough, and so the board kind of didn't come with me, and I just kind of went tumbling down.
I did the opposite. I had the board, on the lip of the half pipe there, and I didn't fully commit to leaning in. So what happened to me was the board went, and I stayed for 3-4 seconds, and then I looked down and saw that I was just hovering in the air like the cartoon Coyote. And then I fell, and just my side hit the top of the half pipe, and then I just slid down slowly like a dead body getting washed into the ocean. And then the skateboard came back and ran into me.
Other skateboard kids aren't the most supportive when you've hurt yourself very badly.
You know what's worse? When those skateboard kids are all like 6 years younger than you because you're old and you thought it would be funny to try and learn to skateboard with a Monsters Inc. skateboard. When
they
you're
probably
old enough,
thought you were drunk.
You're like old enough to buy cigarettes. You're like, ha ha. And then you just eat shit. You show up all cocky and then just eat shit. And then all these middle schoolers are just watching you as you like, can somebody take me to the hospital, please? If any of our listeners are skateboarders who'd like to give us some tips, you can write to we don't have a podcast yet at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And also, if anyone is a lawyer who want to help us sue the skate parks that let us try the half pipe without any experience or any supervision, there might be you might be entitled to a little bit of our compensation.
Is it possible that we could maybe get a class action lawsuit going against all skateboard manufacturers?
I feel like you could definitely get one going against that Sully and Mike skateboard. It was not the right size.
The one I was using was not my own, but it had a whiskey bottle on the back of it. So,
well, I
felt really cool.
Yeah,
and like an adult skater, which a lot of people,
Beto O'Rourke.
A lot of people get into skateboarding so they can be more like an adult.
Yeah, that's that was just this past year there was a huge surge in 40-year-olds getting into skateboarding because they saw Beto O'Rourke and they were like, "Oh man, that's what I want to do." And then they were like,
throw the old skateboard in the back of the convertible and
get on top of a table somewhere. Just start skateboarding.
I mean, skateboards, surfboards, mostly any sports look cool when you're just carry them around with you.
Yeah, just walking around with your cribbage board.
This is my sandwich board. I'm not working today, but you never know when an opportunity's gonna pop up.
Just we're gonna go sandwich boarding later. You just have the sandwich board from Die Hard with a Vengeance. Hey, what can I say? I'm extreme.
Like to live on the edge. It was Jeremy Irons though, wasn't it? Who was the bad guy in With a Vengeance?
I believe it was Jeremy Piven.
Oh. They made the Piven pivot away from austere European baddies to young, balding comedy character actor.
Wait, that's supposed to be comedy?
Jeremy, he's a comedian.
He's in the
comedic actor.
He's in the Jay Moore School of Comedic Actors.
I think he was in the John Cusack's Friend School of Acting.
Oh man, that's right, isn't it? Like, there's like stories about Jeremy Piven and John Cusack like having threesomes with ladies, where they're like high-fiving each other.
Yeah. It's who says sex can't be heterosexual male bonding time?
Yeah.
That's what that's for.
Look, if you're into that, we're not trying to step on anybody's toes. You can do whatever you want. Here's my first idea for a podcast.
All right, let me have it.
It's called Fun New Bible.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it, and the Bible's pretty old, you know?
It's been around forever.
I know. It's one of the most popular and enduring intellectual properties in Western culture.
Has the copyright expired yet?
It has. It is
Free to play with.
free. Yeah, you can get in there. It's our own little sandbox. So that's what I was thinking is we could, take the Bible and, jazz it up.
It sounds great. Now, are you planning on keeping most of it, or are we going to cut a bunch of that? You could jazz it up by cutting out dead spots, or you can jazz it up by making dead spots alive spots.
I think there's two different ways to go with this. One would be the Star Trek, that J.J. Abrams Star Trek kind of a angle, which we've seen in the past.
What,
with
make them younger,
Godspell,
faster, and sexier?
Jesus Christ Superstar. But there's also the J.J. Abrams Star Wars approach, where you just start writing sequels, a la the Book of Mormon.
It is a very strong text on which to spin a bunch of stuff off. I suggest we do both.
I think we need to we really need to do the Disney. We got to get to the Bible before Disney does. Honestly, that's what we need to do, because
or before Disney finds some way to copyright the Bible.
Oh yeah. If they can figure out a way.
Have they scooped up any I want to say the word lesser, but I don't mean the word lesser. Have they scooped up any religious texts that are farther away from my world?
I think that they own Harry Potter now.
Yeah, I probably do. I'm talking more like the Bhagavad Gita, or I don't know. What are some more of them? I can't remember.
Zoroastrianism.
Yeah, Dianetics.
Oh man, could you imagine if Disney got the rights to Dianetics? Disanetics.
Well, what do you? Can you give me a few hot points from what you're gonna change? Like what areas do you want?
Okay, first of all, I mean, I feel like while our intention should be to get out ahead of Disney on this, I think that we need to recognize that Disney are the best in the biz.
They're worthy opponents.
And we should probably borrow a page or two from Disney. I'm talking
anthropomorphize some of these animals.
You got to have some fun characters in there. You got to have some anthropomorphic, comedy relief. You also have to have, the beats have to work. We need to get some, we need to get some fresh eyes on these stories, take some chances with directors and writers, then fire the people for taking chances and bring in, Ron Howard, some of the old gravitas stalwarts of a bygone era of Hollywood.
Okay, do you want to build up slow and take some pokes around in the Old Testament, or are we going to swing for the fences and do Jesus right off the bat?
No, I think we definitely need to start with origin stories. So
that's true.
OT for sure, but more black actors this time. Not just the Pharaoh, which I assume He lives in Africa.
Yeah. Weirdly, Egyptians are frequently played by, like, British people.
Yeah.
There's a weird misconception created by Hollywood that, yeah, Egyptians were like, they were like tan. They were tan people.
Donny Osmond play...
He played the Pharaoh and Joseph in the
Yeah.
Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, I believe.
I think he was in one of those animated
No, he was
Bible
Joseph.
movies.
He was Joseph. Never mind, I'm sorry.
I think he was in the Prince of Egypt. I think he was in that movie.
That sounds right. That's like an early DreamWorks. Like, I think
Yeah.
maybe Brad Pitt, or they had a very good cast.
You know, Donny Osmond is one of the most versatile voice actors. He can play an Egyptian pharaoh. He can play an Asian general.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He's so believable. Let's get down to business. I really felt like I was right there, building the Great Wall of China to defeat the Huns. Maybe another idea for this fun new Bible. Let's get a celebrity stunt casting on God. Now I know this is a book, right? I'm not dumb.
There are a lot of celebrities, though, who I think that it's not just their cadence, it's their word choice. I think that we could write God as Larry the Cable Guy, or...
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, I mean, like I'm thinking about like a Cyberpunk 2077, that video game. It's got Keanu Reeves in it.
Yeah.
Well, it's not Keanu Reeves. It's just a video game. But, you get that name attached to it. People get excited. They're like, I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
If we could
I've
just
been burned
license-
by that before, but I know that it sells, too.
If we could just license the likeness of somebody, I think Larry the Cable Guy, do you think he has the chops?
No. I was just thinking, like, just the pure writing part and trying to make it easy on myself. I think we need a face, and I don't think that's...
Yeah.
I'm going straight to...
I like where your head is at, though.
I like maybe... I think Michael Jordan, maybe.
This is interesting. It's somebody who's kind of fallen off.
Yeah, well, not as many people are part of God's flock as they once were.
Yeah.
And you just have to remind them of his greatness.
Yeah. Yeah, this is exactly, I mean, it's a perfect parallel. So many people have turned their backs on Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Michael Jordan, he sees
false
LeBron
idols.
James, Space Jam 2 comes out next year. You think that Michael Jordan's not looking for a project to one back up?
I think we found our God.
Not just the god of basketball. He's
also the God of
Playing God.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
Jacob is played by Precious in our new fun Bible.
Precious, Gabourey
Sidibe. Yeah.
So we're gonna cast this whole thing.
This is going to be a very diverse new
because
Bible.
We're
also going to have new stories,
such a
new
genius
characters.
idea. Because they always just make one Bible movie and move on, whole new cast, everything. We can do that Disney, Marvel, Star Wars shared universe thing.
Oh yeah, we'll have spin-offs. We'll have, none of the characters from the Bible are in this, but it takes place in the Bible universe.
Yeah.
We'll have like a Western, and then God shows up. I think we should get Shaq. Shaq should be the devil.
You think so? Who are we going to get to play Goliath?
All right. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Fran Drescher.
What?
Yeah, it's just gonna be all motion capture.
Oh, so Goliath's going to be hand on hip, head Is she gonna voice Goliath too?
Yeah.
Or are we gonna put like some kind of crazy vocal filter on her?
We might do a little bit of that, just to make her voice sound more booming. But it needs to be. This can't be like Rocket Raccoon, where you'd never know it was.
Coops.
You'd never know it was Bradley Cooper if no one told you. No, this is going to be clearly Fran Drescher. And this is going to be extra difficult because this is a book and not a movie. So we'll probably just have like a parenthetical phrases. It's like, it's Fran Drescher.
Can all of this be done as like a magazine? We're saying book. I miss magazines so much.
I mean,
none of them are worth. They still make them, but they're all garbage because any good writer does. It's not true, but the quality of magazines has dropped off steeply as people stopped buying them.
Yeah. I guess if we're going to make it a magazine, what is to stop us from just making it a blog?
Or a blog, but somewhere between a comic book and a magazine.
Yeah. I mean, really the only way to get anyone to read it is if we market it as a sports blog, but then it's just a Bible.
Yeah. I mean, all right, now I'm starting to think we just take text wholesale from the Bible, but just like cast every character with a
sports figure.
Well, that's mostly what I know.
It's going to be like that cartoon that was like Wayne Gretzky and Michael Jordan and I think Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson was the best one. I think in the opening credits, he rips a power line out of the ground and then swings it like it's a baseball bat. But he's also wearing football shoulder pads at the time.
Yeah. Boy, that guy was crazy.
Yeah. He didn't have a lot of respect for power lines.
Yeah. That's seriously... There was a whole neighborhood that was without power for 3 days. Yeah. All that food spoiled.
His career ended so much earlier than it should have.
But Bo Jackson, did you see what he did?
He's just like a Paul Bunyan or a John Henry looking for some giant form of machinery to battle. And he's got nothing, and he's just throwing himself around.
It's the old steam-powered baseball and football machine.
Bet my baseball hitting machine can hit more than you. Bet my running back machine can break more tackles than you.
I'm not sure why I invented this machine, but it's the best at what it does.
Sure, you can even use your blue ox in our competition.
I'd like to see somebody with a blue ox in the NFL.
Where they're
just
allowed
a big guy and he just has a blue ox with him.
Yeah, it's just like grazing in the end zone, eating some of the grass. Like, it's not playing football, but it's like his security blanket. You got to let him have his blue ox.
Him. That's his familiar. All right, do you have an idea for a podcast?
Yeah. As the Christmas season went past, and it's the only real time of the year I look at these, but I always end up looking at a lot of catalogs, and I've had catalogs on the brain, so I've got Catalogue Jam, and it would just be a review podcast of different catalogs, but we can let the audience know that, hey, we're doing the old Sears and Roebuck this week, or more contemporary catalogs, and we can go page by page and just like make fun of the faces the models make, how ill-advised the products are, and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I remember thumbing through the old Finger Hut as a young child.
My mom had a bunch of them, and it was always like, pick out your Christmas presents, and I'd
Finger
always
Hut?
Not from Finger Hut. I think hers was just called. It was LTD. It was like limited something, and it just had. It had every. It's like some clothes, but it was mostly tchotchkes and
it's
and
like, oh, it's the little
goofs, toys.
the little peeing boy fountain whiskey dispenser.
Yeah.
Which I'd give anything for one of those now.
They would have like, it's a high school Letterman jacket, but it's for the Green Bay Packers or the Dallas Cowboys or the San Francisco 49ers. Everybody else, get fucked. The only 3 fan bases that buy anything.
That deserve to have a high school letter jacket.
Pittsburgh Steelers as well. There were 4.
I stand by my statement that the Steelers fans don't deserve anything good. Do you have a catalog that we could work from?
Handy?
I had several that showed up in my mail, and I threw them all away.
I think I have some in my home. I should have brought one with me. Shit. But anyway, what kind of catalogs do you normally get that you throw away?
I get a lot of the like moms who want everything in their house to be white and neutral catalogs. Your Pottery Barn, your what's the one that starts with a W?
Westminster.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
I was just throwing out W words.
Because I buy the crap from those like expensive mall stores at Christmas time, and then I end up on their mailing lists, and then they send me stuff. The Pottery Barn, Land's End. Yeah. West Elm, is that what I was thinking of? Anthropology.
Oh yeah. I think I might have an anthropology one.
Yeah.
At my place. But anyway, I haven't really shopped from them, but I still flip through them, and like the anthropology catalog has evolved. It's a fashion magazine.
I was in an Anthropology in the mall like last month, and they had a what I believe was a Pink Floyd t-shirt. It was just the, Pink Floyd Prism logo on a t-shirt. $60.
That's one way to do it. That's how you...
It's like, what kind of stupid person?
They're correcting the market.
They're just...
Think about it. People used to pay crazy high dollar for vintage concert t-shirts until Target and Walmart and everybody started making reproductions of the same ones that you could get for $10. Now, there is a crazy scarcity for those original concert t-shirts, so what you need to do is somehow just convince people these are the original t-shirts and charge. And the easiest way to do that is just to up how much you're charging for your $10 t-shirts.
Yeah, I was flabbergasted. I was like, they sell this same shirt in 2 other stores in the mall, and it's $20. And even then, you're a sucker for paying for it. I cannot believe. Seriously. And this is coming from someone who went on and on about a pair of Versace sunglasses to the point where someone almost bought them for me for Christmas because I kept saying I would totally wear those $300 sunglasses. And then I was like, oh no, you can't do that. That's a really bad idea. Like, don't waste your money on me thinking that these absurd flashy sunglasses are...
Now who are you talking about? Like, were you carrying this catalog around and just showing anybody who'd look and be like, What do you guys you taking the temperature of the room? What do you think about these sunglasses? I think I would wear them.
No, they were at the Sunglass Hut in the mall.
Oh.
This was all in the same trip to the mall. And I just tried on these $300 sunglasses that they made you look like a space pharaoh. They were real cool. I was like,
a Donny Osmond space pharaoh, or did you look as cool as Donny?
It was like you could imagine you can imagine like Grace Jones wearing these sunglasses. They were like solid gold.
I think you just cast the Pharaoh in our Bible.
They were just solid gold, like boxy wraparounds, and they were like square. They were really cool sunglasses, and I put them on, and I was like, shit, I look like king shit of fuck mountain in these. But they were $300.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, man, it's almost worth it.
How cool would you have looked skateboarding in those glasses?
Oh, yeah. I could run dick first into a fire hydrant on a skateboard, and people would still be like, damn, he's fresh to death. You got any other oh wait, no, you just did one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can go.
Here's my next one. It's a podcast called Worst Case Scenarios.
Okay.
And this would be where we would try and come up with the worst case scenario. So we would start with a premise, and then we would have to keep making it worse and worse to think of every angle. It's the only way to be prepared for a worst case scenario is you have to come up with the absolute worst case. You know, you might be like, oh no, the house is on fire and, you know, the doorknob is hot. I can't go out of my room. But that could be worse. And what we're going to do with this podcast, excuse me, this podcast would be about us exploring how much worse it could get.
Okay. So let me clarify here. Say you're in that situation. I'm not suggesting things that you could do to make it worse. I'm just saying, like, just be cool. The house is on fire and the doorknob's too hot to turn, but at least there's not a jaguar roaming around in here.
Well, it would be I think we should take more of a negative approach to it, because the idea is, like, when you're in a bad situation, you want to solve it. But you ever been in a bad situation and you have a solution, but the solution doesn't work because something else, there's another wrench in the gears? We need to just have a big bag of wrenches, and every time we get to a solution, throw another wrench in and see if we can't get to the point where it's an unsolvable problem. And then people will know to just watch out for that thing and don't let that happen. And then they can walk it back and be like, okay, well, I feel like I'm prepared for everything as long as a Bengal tiger isn't also in my house.
Okay.
So he'd say, you know, oh, you locked yourself out of your car, right?
Yes.
So you're like, well, you can call a locksmith to come unlock your car. I think that works. I've never...
Yeah, I was a locksmith.
Yeah.
You can do that.
So, but then we say, oh, but what if AJ is the locksmith?
Yeah, I'm going to want to hang around for a while.
He's going to show up with a couple of catalogs.
Yeah.
And a bag of jelly beans and just want to...
I've brought all the makings of a sandwich, and I would like to assemble it in your house and then eat it.
So how do we stop that from happening?
They could tip me and then, like, not... Oh, wait, I unlocked their car, right?
You got to unlock their car. They have to get you to unlock their car, but they don't want to be your new best friend.
Oh, I mean, this one's very easily solvable. This has happened many times. You get in your car and you drive away. I don't have a key.
Just leave you standing there.
I could let myself in, but I was never so gauche.
You're just standing by the side of the road with your sack lunch.
Yeah.
Just looking.
Waving as they drove
All right,
away.
Bye, I guess.
And then there's the, do I sit in my van for an hour? Maybe they'll be back. I've got all these games on my cell phone.
But maybe then the problem is that they find out that you're a really good friend and they missed out.
Yeah, that's happened a lot. I get a lot of handwritten letters from people that I went to school with telling me about how they wish they had been nicer to me.
So I think this has potential.
But I think I derailed that a little bit. But I think that in most I like how it can be, we can assemble a checklist for this situation, but it's happening in reverse order.
Yeah, it's a reverse order checklist for what could be the worst case scenario for a bad situation. So you just, as long as you keep tabs on these 100 things, you won't be able to get into the worst possible situation. You can manage the inevitable bad situation as long as you're watching these 100 points of light all moving around. Just make sure
just make sure that your eyes are always on the prize. Make sure that you listen to this podcast, write everything down, and then write everything down in reverse order after that. I was going to say flip it upside down, but not everybody can read upside down. It's an acquired skill.
Yeah. You put the thing down, you write the thing down, you flip it and reverse it.
Yeah. Or if you're absurdly talented, you can write it upside down from right to left.
Yeah. I think I might be able to do it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have enough trouble just writing. I think I could maybe. I could probably write upside down the wrong one. Are you a left-hander? That's not fair if you are. I only want to compete against right-handers in this.
I'm a bothy, but when it comes to writing, like my handwriting sucks with my left hand unless I'm writing in reverse, and then I can just write smoothly in reverse with my left hand.
Okay. You're a bothy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of tasks that I have to do right-handed.
Cranking it.
Yeah.
I knew it. I could see the look in your eye.
Throwing a baseball.
That's same thing.
You can throw a baseball just as well with your left as your right. Or
I
meant
cranking it and throwing a baseball are the same thing.
Yeah.
Both.
That is what you call the Ryan Express. Nolan Ryan's fastball. He cranks it in there.
Gross. I don't want to think about any major league pitcher cranking it.
Yeah. He pitched in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. And he beat somebody up in the 90s. And couldn't even stop him from jerking it in the locker room. He's 45, still playing, still jerking. Fuck you, Robin Ventura.
I all of that was just like the sound of feedback. I don't know anything about baseball. At some point, that just turned into, in a movie when a grenade goes off, and then it's like,
yeah,
that was all I was hearing.
That's fine. It was a flashbang of baseball. It's just like that thing where you're like, oh yeah, Sean Connery was was an action star and dating models in the 1960s, and he also was in the late 1990s. He played for 10 more years than anybody else did and remained very good. It was kind of like, why is that really old? Oh, yeah, he's still a
got
no-hitter.
it, baby.
He's 45. What's going on? Yeah, we've got special jelly beans. They're
AJ
soda
brought
flavored.
some jelly beans over. Later he's going to unlock my car.
That's true. I've got one more podcast idea.
Okay.
And it's a meme of last year mostly, but you know how you'd always see pictures of giant house cats or really fat dogs, and they'd all say absolute unit.
Mm-hmm.
This would be absolute Unit-est, and it'd be profiles of the largest animals of every species.
Okay.
Which everybody's very familiar with your corgis and your house cats and whatnot, but what does the absolute largest praying mantis look like? And
I don't want to know.
Does he have a name, or actually, does she have a name? And how many partners' heads has she eaten?
Get some stats on there. She's been eating heads in the 60s, the 70s.
She's the Nolan Ryan of
the
praying
80s
mantis.
and the 90s. She also beat a man up for trying to stop her from jerking off in the locker room.
That's exactly what Nolan Ryan. It's a crazy coincidence that praying mantis, his name is Nolan Ryan as well.
Yeah. Girls can be named Ryan.
Or Nolan.
I don't see why not.
I think it's crazy.
It's the 90s, baby.
When you're like, I want to name this child after my grandfather, and she's born a girl, and all of a sudden, you have to turn Robert not into Roberta, but Robertina.
Ooh. Robertina.
Yeah. There are just certain suffixes you can add to a lady's name that you get, like Gabe. But now you got Gabette, and we're all good.
Everyone's comfortable with Gabette.
I mean, nobody is, but you are in the moment. You know, like when you're feeling your oats and filling out that birth certificate.
And that's what this podcast is all about.
And that's forever.
And that is forever. That's how Oprah got her name. It was a goof up.
What was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be Orpha. You know, like you do.
Orpha?
Yep.
Is that supposed to be? That doesn't register as a real name either to me.
Yeah. You know, I almost feel like
it's the culture I
Oprah.
come from. Like, I want it to be Oprah. It's like
Oprah.
the polka talk show.
I wonder if there are other Oprahs now.
I've seen, like, I work at a warehouse pharmacy where I get to see 10,000 unique names every day, and I've only seen a few Oprahs, and I've long wondered, when are people going to start naming their kids after Oprah?
Do you think those are real Oprahs, or is it like
There are some of them that are O-P-R-A, and I'm like, did they misspell it?
Oh my God.
Or is this like a whole nother snafu where somebody got named Oprah completely unconnected to the Oprah?
Maybe it's opera.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people's names are littered with misspellings. It's the happiest, one of the happiest moments of your life, and you it all goes to your head, and then all of a sudden you can't spell, and you think you're clever, or more often than not, people just play it really, really safe, and you just get a huge swath of all kids the same
swastika
as yeah. I was part of
What
the
did I do?
swastika of Andrews. It was the most popular boy's name the year I was born.
I was almost named Ariel if I'd been a girl.
I was going to be a Courtney.
You sound like a slut.
I would have been the biggest one.
An absolute unit.
Yeah. The biggest slut in the world.
All right,
Profiled in podcast.
We have a listener submitted one here.
What's that?
Zach writes in, trying to find Optimus Prime a girlfriend.
Doesn't Optimus Prime just imprint on the first human that he sees?
Yeah. So I think what you'd have to do is, you just have to, you'd have to go on Reddit and find one of those people that wants to have sex with a vehicle. Be like, listen, do you want to meet someone? He's from the planet Cybertron. He's currently in some sort of a robot egg. He's going to come out, and if you're the first person he sees, it's like Cupid's arrow. And then, he'll do anything. Upstairs, downstairs, in the ladies' chamber. He's down for whatever, as long as you're the first person he sees when he comes out of stasis. But he does turn into a Peterbilt 18-wheeler.
I'm trying to think of where can Optimus Prime perform his husbandly duties? Like, an airplane hangar is not even tall enough. Like, where is there? Do we just have to have this happen in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, we sell tickets.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the only places that aren't open air that this could even happen. You're gonna have to be a big old exhibitionist to be.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime's girlfriend. I'm trying to remember all the Transformers. Are they gender specified? Are there girl Transformers?
Are there female Transformers?
Most of the voices I can remember are all male.
Oh.
Maybe they're really sexist and they leave all the women on Cybertron.
There actually is. When I asked if there were female Transformers, it says who was Optimus Prime's girlfriend, and it says Alita 1 is the name of 5 fictional characters from the Transformers series. Although Alita 1 appeared in fiction in 1985 as Optimus Prime's girlfriend, she didn't get a transforming toy until the 2007 film. Alita 1 is a female Autobot, usually pink or red in color. Huh.
Okay. So I'm going to try to focus with this one on finding Optimus Prime a human girlfriend. Because I really don't know very many Autobots.
Apparently, in one iteration of the Transformers, Optimus Prime was depicted having mud flap silhouettes of Alita 1. So I think first of all we're gonna have to drive a wedge into
throw
that
in like our bag of wrenches.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you have to find a new girlfriend. The Autobots are all sick of Optimus Prime and Alita 1. They're like, dude, you guys have to break them up. And we're like, okay, how do we do this? And then they're like, oh, by the way, Optimus Prime will incinerate you with his ion cannon if he finds out what you're doing. We're like, oh, we're really going to have to gaslight him.
It's going to be tough because all those guys were trying to get him to have like a on-set romance with Megan Fox, and she made it through. Was it just the first movie or was it through 2?
I think she was in 2 movies.
Okay, so we're really going to have to knock it out of the park with this.
I think that she ended up dating Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, well, we've got an Optimus Prime with a little bit of, he's a little wounded.
Yeah.
So this might be easier, actually.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Zach's idea. Try and find Optimus Prime a girlfriend. We still haven't even gone to the Podtron.
Yeah, that's true. Do you wanna go to the Podtron? Are you ready?
Let's go to the Podtron. Oh my God! Podtron is really fired up this time. Now this is a artificial intelligence that we use to take the 1,000 top podcasts from Apple Podcasts, and it tries to divine what makes them popular by coming up with a list of fictional podcasts that we could use as a jumping off point. Do you have one that is jumping out to you here?
Yes. It's called In Sporkful. And In Sporkful. A lot of times cooking shows try to go into the heritage, personal history behind the dishes they make, and I think that television success could be translated into a podcast. But most of what I cook could be served at a KFC. So a spork is a very multifaceted utensil. It's good at picking up both chunks and gloop.
It's true. Now there is a podcast called The Sporkful. So this would be us inserted into we could just play an episode and then talk over it.
Okay.
Pretend like we're part of the podcast. And everyone at home could also play along. You could jump in there too, talk to the podcast. Now,
yeah, we could really daisy chain down, and then somebody else could do us and you and Sporkful.
Yeah.
And then
just get a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like just record one podcast and then just send it like it's a flat Stanley to somebody else, and just see by the time it's made its way around the world, when it gets back to us, what we have there.
Yeah.
Whether we have a podcast or not.
We got potential, that's for sure. Okay, I got one here. It's called Securiters. Securiters.
Okay.
And I'd imagine that this would be it's in the same vein as worst case scenario. This would be where we would like give advice on, as security experts, what to do, how to make sure your home is safe from invaders, what to do.
Worried somebody's going to steal your satellite dish?
Yeah.
Chain it to your house.
Throng of crazed fans are coming for you. How do you escape with your life and limbs? No, don't let them tear your hair out for their scrapbooks.
Yeah, zip line to my treehouse.
Zip to Maloo.
I really like that one.
That's what they call a bathroom.
That's some combination of those two. I do really like keeping people safe. It's a passion.
So, yeah, I mean, we could do a combination of the worst case scenario and the Securiters, where one of us would be...
One of us is the bad guy and one of us is the good guy.
Yeah.
It's a game of chess.
It's a cat and mouse game. One of us is just a naysayer, and the other one is a tactical optimist.
Okay. I think that's what I want to do.
I think that's the idea.
Should I even bother doing my other Podtron?
No,
suggestion?
let's just I think we can call it right now.
Yeah, fuck it.
That's what it. And do we have a name for that?
Securiters and worst case scenario. Worst case.
Oh, I thought that was your
No. I'm putting the variables in my brain so that I can podtronize them. Your safety is paramount.
Your safety is paramount. All right, so if you want to drop us a line, the email is we don't have a podcast yet at gmail.com. You can go on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. If you do, please use the phrase proud humor. We're trying to get that going. Also join the Facebook group. That's where we ask for submissions for podcast ideas. Sometimes we do polls. We also post dumb shit on Instagram occasionally at WDHAPY. And we have a Twitter too, but no one really uses it. So try and figure out the password. You can steal it. So if you want to hear Your Safety is Paramount, that'll be out this Friday on Patreon. Go over to patreon.com/we don't have a podcast yet. If you support us at the $5 level, you get access to the vault where we keep every podcast idea that we've done, and you can hear them all. And as always, if any of these ideas sound good to you, they are available under a Creative Commons license. You can make that podcast a reality as long as you attribute it to us.
Yes, and if you are in Louisville, you have to buy me nachos and bowl with me.
Fair enough.
And if I unlock your car, you have to let me make my sandwich in your house, and you have to make it seem like it's no big deal, and we can just like watch a show together.
All right, thanks for listening, everyone. And remember, don't lock your keys in your car.
Coming for you.